So hello everyone, welcome again. Today we got another unique guest, Catherine Tamiliyo, and Catherine is from Nigeria. Catherine came to UK in December 2022, completed her studies, a master degree, and now Catherine is working in the UK. Catherine is a mother and she got a young kid with her. So today's podcast we are going to focus on what is the challenges a mother with the very young kids can face in the UK while they are studying and while they are working. So, Catherine, thank you very much for joining us today. Very welcome to this podcast, and I think your story will be really amazing for our viewers. And you got a lot to share. I know that, and you got a lot of experience in the UK so far while working, daycare, studying, and achieving good degree as well. So, firstly, thank you very much for coming to this podcast.
Thank you, sir.
So, please tell us about you. What are you doing right now in the UK?
Okay, I work with retail industry. Work with one of the largest retail industry in the UK called The Range, and I work as an operations assistant. I do at the moment now, and I've been working with them for year 5 months. Yes, because
Okay.
it's been a year 5 months.
Which means you started that job when you were studying your degree
Yes,
program.
I started the job when I
So
started the job.
since you came in December 2022, which means you came for January 23 intake,
Yes, yes,
you completed your degree program in January 2024. So
yes, I did.
okay, so you been with them for year and a half, almost year and a half. So
Yes,
means so when you came to UK within like 3 to 4 months time, you got that job, you got that
yes, I
opportunity.
did.
Okay,
Yes,
so let's talk about that first. So you got opportunity within like 4 to 5 months in the UK, and a background in Nigeria is also procurement officer in
yes,
the construction industry.
yes, sir.
So how did you end up with that job? Was it easy to find? Like you said, you're working as an operation assistant, which is very
Yeah,
similar to the procurement. Was it
yes.
something what is easy? What is your experience on that?
I would say, but it was just like a miracle because that was my first applic ever in the UK. That was the first job I applied for, and I got it. Um,
Sorry, that's amazing. You know, every had somebody, they always say they had applied maybe hundreds of job and then they got something. Last week itself, I was talking to one of person, and she was telling me she applied 30 to 40 jobs every month, and she haven't got anything. She completed the degree program, and it's been like 5 6 months since she completed the degree, and she haven't got any job yet. She got young kids at home, and
mm,
she is applying 30 40 jobs, and you are saying that was the very first job you apply in the UK
yes,
and got it.
yes. Like it was when I to apply for it. Okay, sent me the link because it was like you're studying at the same time. I think you can actually put a part-time job, and he sent me the link. It was actually one that even did the job set and said, "Oh, why not try this retail industry?" And I was like, well, I've been working with the construction industry in Nigeria, and I felt okay, this is something new. I said, okay, let me try, and I applied, and I got a call 2 days later to come in for an interview, and I went in for the interview, and they were impressed with what I've done so far back in Nigeria. But the clause there was because I could only work 20 hours. And they were like, oh, they needed someone that would work directly with the operations manager. That was the role itself. I have to do everything the operations manager was doing. And they needed I can do it full time. And I told them, I'm actually studying at the moment. I can't do that. So I felt they won't call me again. So I just then it was strange. On a weekend, I got the call from them saying, "Can I start immediately?" And I was like, "Wow!" I said, "Okay, fine." Because I actually told the interviewer, I told him that it may not if you give me this particular role, I don't mind any other role in in the store. I do anything. I'm not restricted to doing anything. I just wanted to just put myself out there. And it was like, okay, we'll get back. And then I was so happy when he called and said, okay, no, we would like you to work with the operations manager. And that was a new phase for me in that industry, because I've always been a procurement person, and now coming into operations. And you know how operations can be like, you had the engine of the organization. So it's and so far it's been so interesting. It's a lot. I was able to do my 6 month placement there while my dissertation, and I really enjoyed my day so far. So
That's good.
yes.
That's a story. So it looks you are a magician, like you got the job. So why do you think what contributes? Think that was a job for operation manager. If you wasn't studying at that time, you could have get that up.
Yes.
But they offered you operations assistance because you
Yes.
are a student and you do 20 hours.
Yes. Yes.
So this first restriction doesn't matter how experienced you are,
Yes.
how good your CV is, how well you take the interview, and all these things. But you got restriction because of the visa restrictions. You can only work 20 hours, and that is why you didn't get operation manager. You only got operation assistant. Again, good. As you were thinking that they might not call you as well because of your visa restriction, but they did, which means that you was a brilliant candidate for them. They just take that candidate. Maybe later on, when there is no visa restriction or something, so they read you at that time.
Yes.
That is good thing. Now, what do you think, as per your understanding, what contributed to your job application to get a job that quickly? As you said, that was the first job you applied and you got it. Yes, your experience and your profile working in the same industry or similar kind of job, that was one thing. But is there anything else you can?
Okay, during the interview phase, I remember them, putting myself out there, telling them the key achievement, like things that while working as a procurement person. And I also made them understand that, fine, I know this is another phase for me, but I'm willing to learn. And I made them understand something, that even being assigned to this role, that doesn't stop me from learning other roles within that organization. I told them I'm open to learning anything new. So I'm not just restricted to saying, oh, I'm an operations assistant and that's just what I'm called to do. No, I told them that I was going to also explore into other things within the organization, and was actually impressed by that. And I think that was, and I remembered when I even left after the interview, I walked around the store premises. I wanted to know what's it called, how services are. I actually spoke with few of the people I met on the shop floor, and I noticed that I was actually watching me from where he was, but I wasn't even bothered. I just out my own thing, like, okay, even if they call me in, I need to know how they with people, how their customers is like, and what is missing in that organization. And I left and I got a job. So I think that was actually, what's it called? That actually stood out for me in the interview phase, being real, telling them, okay, I'm not just going to stick to this thing. I'm also open to learning other things new. Yes.
Okay, so the main thing is CV is one thing to get you shortlisted for the interview. The main thing is that's marketing yourself, selling yourself during the interview. So that is I think that could be that is challenging. There are people who can shortlisted, but when it comes to the interview, they show the performance there as well. They have to, because CV is one thing and the interview
is another one.
Yeah. CV is, you can say that is a part of communication, but the actual communication, the verbal, when you are talking to somebody face to face and answering their question and showing them your interest as well, that okay, I'm willing to learn, I got this experience, giving examples and all that. That also pays off. And I think this is one of the major challenge when people are coming from other countries and they are going to the interview, they could not clear it, they could not crack it.
Yes.
because of the communication skills. And always when I teach my students, I say communication is one of the most important thing you will require in the wherever for the job market. Either you have to present somewhere, either you are working as a manager, you have to communicate with other people and all that. So communication is one of the skills. And for our viewers, I would like to say over here, learn how to communicate. There are many portals available where you can learn how to communicate, and that is a very important thing, that communication is very, very important. Many courses on LinkedIn, other places. Also, communication, you don't have to do a course even. You talk to people, communicate with them. You can do some, public speaking. There are a lot of opportunities available in the university. Now, Catherine, when you got this job, you was studying at the same time,
Yes.
and you got your family here as well.
Yes.
So, and how old was you at that time?
She was a year old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kids couldn't go to daycare at that time because she was
No.
okay. Now, how was you managing that work and family and your studies at that time? Was it challenging? Was it easy in the UK or?
I would say, to be honest, it wasn't easy. Like back home, I had like was a nanny while I go to work. That helps with my baby. But here in the UK, it's totally different. It was really tough for me because that was the first time I was like I had to care for her like 100%, and being a mom, being a wife, and being myself, Catherine. So it was really tough because she underage, she can't start school yet, and then I was just trying to just a job, and my husband also was off to work. So what we used to do was on day I had to look for days when it would be in, because since I could only work and I was restricted to 20 hours, yes, but I work 5 times a week. So I on days he has to go to work, I would have to make myself available. Maybe probably just tell them I work, that because I actually made them understand I have a baby. So they were really, really they would give me hours that wasn't too that they work with my time. So that was another favor I got. But on days when I had to be at work and there was nothing to do, my husband had to be available. So we're just juggling between myself and himself, since I would just spend 4 hours, then I would have to come back home early. So he can also go to his own workplace. That was how we actually did it. It wasn't easy. The first few months, let me say the first 3 months was actually tough, because before I could find a balance, going to school, going to work, at TV. And I remember on one of those occasions, there was a particular day that I had no choice than to take my baby to school, even though it wasn't allowed. But there was, life of mother.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So you have a helping hand, your husband. Still, it's hard to find the balance between them because your
Yes.
husband is working as well.
Yes.
He's got shifts. You might have different shifts, or somebody has to be with the kids.
Yes.
Like you said, you had a nanny back in Nigeria to take care
Yes.
of the kid. Can't you have a nanny over here?
I really wish I could have one, but this is in the UK. It is a no, no, no place. It's either there is no help like that. It's you never can. It's only if you have the money like the Queen, yes. But if not, it doesn't work like that in this place. You are all by yourself. Like childcare here is expensive. It is very, very expensive. If you are coming from, if you had like 10 nannies take care of your children, in this place it is different. You will be independent. Like it is you and your kids, and let's say your husband, because there are some people that they're not even in with them. It's just the mother and the children. So you have to know how to juggle your time well, so you won't break down, because it gets to a point that studying, catering children, even for self and going to work, it's not an easy task. So you need to know how to prioritize well. You need to know how to plan your time. And that was what, at the point, I need to learn how to what's it called, how to manage my time. Time for my daughter, then time to also cater for the home, and time for my studies. So you need to know, if you know how to manage as in your time well, I'm sure you come out fine, and it worked for me. It can work for anybody else. Yes.
So you mentioned there is no for in this country. You can have 10 nannies in back home. Why difficult? Is it available, or is it the finances? The
Yes,
money?
as I said, yeah, now I did mention, I said it is expensive. Expensive. Well, if you have the money, yes, you can have 10 nannies also in the UK.
So how much expense do you think for a nanny? If somebody wants to have a nanny in the UK, how much they might have to pay? Just an idea.
Well, in the like back at home, I'll use it as myself as an example. Back at home, I pay my nanny at the end of the month, and I don't pay her per hour. But here in the UK, it is different. You are being paid per hour. So okay, and again, it depends if you're going to have a live-in nanny, or you want a nanny that would come in while you're off. I say maximum 7 hours. You're off for 7 hours every day. Let's say 5 days a week, and let's say agreement between you and your nanny is around, let's say roughly, let me just cap it. Let's say £6 per hour.
Yeah, seven hours a day, minimum
Yeah,
wage, £11.50 or £12
50 exactly.
times 7, which is
Yes,
somewhere about 90 to £100,
90.
somewhere per day.
Yeah,
And
you do 5 days.
yeah, 20 days in a month, uh, £2,000. But if you're not working, you can see the kids, and like it's living is going to be very, very expensive. You need
Yeah,
to provide a room and everything, and
exactly.
for a time nanny who only comes when you are going for
You're away. Yes,
day. So maybe like 2 days or 3 days a week. Still,
yes,
it is going to be at least £1,000 a month. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Um, do you earn £1,000 with a part-time job
No,
per month? No. In,
no.
in UK, again, we have to calculate with the minimum wages at least.
Yes,
That you don't that much money in a part-time job, which is 20 hours per week for a student. You can't earn that money. So that could be really difficult. That is one reason. Now, the second option is daycare.
yeah.
Now, what is your experience? Would you like to put some light on the daycare, like how expensive are the good options or not?
Okay, so one for you first is to even find a place that you would like, and you have to your background well, because it's not every daycare that is really that own taste. So I know that so far that I've been in the UK, we've been to, okay, my daughter is now in the third one. Like, I've changed, although they were so good, but because we're actually houses, so, and it's always called to when you get to a new environment, trying to find out where to put your kids in, and then when you find the good ones, putting them, and some that, and it's always per hour. You have to pay per hour. So roughly, then I was still doing okay when I started. She spends 5 hours there, because once I'm done at work, I have to move on time so that I don't pay extra. And so yeah, in that, because, and sometimes them will always tell you that you have to pay when you pay, it actually comes with the lunch, free lunch and all. But because I'm this kind of mom that I'm always watching, I'm always after what my child eats, so I tend to like pack a meal before leaving the house. I pack a breakfast, I pack a lunch, and some snacks alongside. So we have really good daycares around the UK, just for you to just find the one that works with your budget and you have no problem. Yeah.
So, since you mentioned that first thing, you have to be there on time to pick the child up. If you be there on time, do they charge you for an extra hour?
Yes, they do. Yes.
Okay.
And because you won't have to drop your child first, you have to majorly, sometimes you have to go into a contract saying number of the what's it, days which your child will be coming. And on days, if you sign the contract already, and on days when your child won't be going, they will also, even if you don't take your child there that day, you'll be charged. You have to pay because you've already signed the contract to show that, oh, she's going to be coming maybe every Tuesday. So on a particular Tuesday, she doesn't come in, you definitely have to pay because it's a contract.
It's a contract.
So yes, so that works. Yes, so
You have a legal binding with them that
yes,
even if you send your child there or not, you have to
you
pay.
have to pay. Yes,
Because they have already arranged for their own resources to take care
yes,
of the child, and they have to pay as well. So which is it's not like you can walk in anytime and
no, no, not at all.
okay.
No,
So like you got an urgent call, you have to go for a job interview, and you have not to take care of your child. You can't just go to take care and say, okay, keep
and
my
say
child.
yes, no,
Yeah,
no, not that way.
yeah. So in that case, you might to arrange for a friend or somebody.
Yes, to come stay in. Yes,
So you keep changing the daycare like 2 times because you were moving house.
houses. Yes.
Yeah. Why was you moving houses? It's like less years, and you have moved houses like 2 times. So what was the reason behind?
Okay, initially when we came into the UK, we're actually living in Kent. So I was always transiting from Kent to Manchester, and which usually take me like 7 hours, traveling. So my husband was the one juggling with his own work and the baby while I was away. And then finally, when we wanted to move down to Manchester so we could, have balanced. So yeah, we had to get in a daycare for her. So then we had, and another thing again, that when I want to tell everyone to be careful when they are signing agreements, like any contract in the UK, you have to read it so well.
Mm-hmm.
So the house we moved into, we had an issue with the agreements, because the law actually failed on some parts, and we also failed on our own part. So there was an issue there, so we had to move houses again. So we had to look for another daycare. And before we now finally found a good place for ourselves, like a good house. When I say good house, I mean good house.
Yeah.
So then we had to find another daycare again. So that was why we had to change
Okay. So
places.
which came to UK, you was staying in Kent,
Yes,
and from there you're traveling to Manchester
yes,
for your lectures
yes,
at least 2 days a week,
yes,
and both about 7 hours, 3.5 hours by
yes.
bus or by
My
train.
boss, yes,
And you were traveling that distance every day,
yes, I
and
was.
you got a 1-year-old child at home.
Yeah,
That's amazing. And lectures are o'clock in the morning, so you was actually, this is what is called hard work,
yeah,
to do something, to learn something, which is amazing. And that is why initially, in the beginning, I said your story is going to be amazing because there are some things which we have all talked about earlier. There's some things which our audience should know about. The land back home is totally upside down, I would say.
yes,
Totally different. What in movies, what we watch on YouTube or other movies, is not there.
and
Okay. Now, mentioned about you like Manchester. You mentioned about the contract. Everybody should read the contract properly, and you mentioned about an issue. Would you like to share what that issue was because of the contract?
okay. So we actually get in the house. The contract, I had to make payment for and I think we moved in a week after moving in, because really my own country, when it comes an agreement, it's always too lengthy for you to really read through. So you just through, although you glance through, okay, you have an idea of what it is. But here in the UK, I learned my lesson. Like every time you have to read eyes and read every dot, every T's that has been crossed, and the landlord came in and said, we're so sorry that another tenant actually made payment before us. So he was going to cancel our own contract. And I was really angry. I said, why would you want to do this? Because I have a baby and you've already collected the money and all. And he said, okay. Then I now go back to read my contract, and my right. I had to call people, you know, and I'm okay, fine, you have to pay me in full. I've barely spent how many weeks in here. And then, nobody wants at the end of the day. So he said, oh, he had another apartment we could move into. and we went ahead to move into the apartment, but it wasn't what was in the contract we signed initially. And well, I was actually, well, because I had to call in at the point, I had to go to the police station, and that was my first time visiting the police station here. So when he knew that I had to involve the police, and he knew that in this place you have to maintain law and order, so he had my money and gave us to search for a good apartment before moving. So he gave us, even had to give us at a very low cost. So it wasn't even like charging anything for us. So it was able to hold him by what was in the contract. And I also learned my lesson that I needed to, what's it called? I needed to have read my terms and agreement so well, so that I've known my ground.
So we were talking about your contract, and there was something wrong with the contract, and the landlord given the apartment to somebody else, and then you had to go to police and the money back. So yes, guys, this is a very good example. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, that Catherine's story is a unique story. She was traveling 7 hours a day to attend a 3-hour lecture, and then 3-hour lecture next day. So 14-hour travel to attend 6-hour lecture. Am I right on that? 6-hour lecture?
Yes.
You were traveling 14 hours, and then you got young kids. Then you moved to Manchester, and this apartment issue happened.
Yeah.
When was that? Do you know the month? Or obviously it would be in 2020.
That was 2023. That was in okay, this happened in March. Yeah, March.
So you came in December 2022, and in March 2023 you have seen the police station.
Yes.
I have been in this country 20 years. Okay, I never seen a station from inside. and you got a job. You applied first job, and you got that soon after that. That is amazing, Catherine, I would say. Now let's talk about this. I think this is a very good audience that read the contract properly. Whatever you do in this country, because you need evidence. If they don't have the contract, if they don't have the real evidence or the real story, even police is not going to help. Police can't do anything because you don't have a proper evidence with you. So read the contract properly, before you sign. You enter an agreement. Either you're buying a phone, you're buying something else, or you're renting. You do have a good look at your contract. Now, that is okay. So you got very good experience in first 6 months, which is amazing. I would say amazing experience. How was the from inside, by the way?
It was actually beautiful, to be honest. It was really, really, because when we were there at first, it's not like what I used to see back at home. When you enter you see the staffs, the policemen, but this was different. Actually, it was. Let me say, it was actually, everything was mated from entering into the police station. Even when you want to, you won't see anybody in. That's the funniest thing. I was even like, okay, what's happening here? This police station, you should see, but no, it will the screen there that will tell you all the things you need to do. Then after, pressing the buttons and all, then somebody can now walk up to you you can see the plan. You guys can communicate. Then if it has to do with them coming out to meet you, yes, they will they open the door for you to come in. So it was actually beautiful. I loved the scene at that point about the atmosphere. I just wanted a solution to my problem, and they really tended to me very well. They were so helpful. The way I prayed I'll be last time I go, I have an encounter with them, because
did you there?
No, not at all. No.
Just the office.
Yes.
So you wasn't lucky on that. You didn't see any criminals in the UK so far.
No.
So okay, that's good. That's good. I'd say it's a brilliant story. I just remember what we on the thumbnail. I'll put your picture, policeman. Okay. Now you've been here in a year now, and I believe you be having some friends and the family friends here by this time. What advice will you give to the people who are coming or who are planning to come with the kids or who are already here with the kids, but they don't have much social life? What advice do you have for them? How can they make friends? Because it's really hard to trust new people,
Yeah.
and especially when you are going to the new country. And I know you got some very good friends over here.
Yeah.
So, what advice do you have for the people that how can they make friends?
Okay. One thing I would is you actually have to be sociable in this country, because if not, you're going to lose at some point. Because let me say you actually spend more hours working and you have little or no time to actually socialize, but you need into your activity so you don't get burnout. And one thing that has worked for me is at my workplace, I'm somebody that I'm like a social butterfly, even though from my country, Nigeria, yeah, I would like that. But things change when I encountered a particular course in school, and that actually opened, me up in another light, and I was able to know how to make friends, communicate better with people. So what I used to do is sometimes at work, maybe on a Friday, we'll just tell ourselves at work, oh, why not after work, let's, spend like 1 hours to a place, just relax, and from there. Or weekends, we'll just plan something. So that's what we do, because that's another way to have fun here in the UK. Another thing is, as a student also, if you're coming to study, you cannot just go now. You have to mix with people. So that was another thing that helped me. I was able to make friends in school that has also helped my social life. And in another place, I've been able to, make friends again at the church. So either you're a Christian or a Muslim or any of the bracket you fall into, join the organization, meet with people, and yes, there you can build your social life, because those are the people that you want to, spend few all of when you're having any issues, if you're in need of advice. Like I told you when I said I had an issue with the landlord, then if I had not made some friends, I would not have known what to do. So those as in very important. You have to you can in this land, because you would fall into depression, and you don't want to do that. So those are the steps I would advise anyone that is coming in to take. Even if you are here for, but let me say, the holiday, we have what's it called? You can volunteer, do one or two things. We have, and that's the good thing about the UK. They have a lot of volunteering organizations, because I belong to one, and they also have been able to, that sometimes, because we have to go out there for one or two, meetings, we meet people, we exchange contacts, we have fun. So I think those are the steps you can actually take to have a good social life here in the UK. Yes, and I know that will work, because that has worked for me.
You mentioned about you can't be alone. Loneliness is one of the biggest issues, especially in this country. At the same time, that leads to depression
Yes.
and the mental health. And many people struggle, especially when the people are coming alone without any family, and they are not really good like a social butterfly like you, and they can't go and meet people and talk to people, and they don't make any friends. But
Yes.
that is a very good idea. Like you have several communities, like you will have all religion from all the countries, like for Christians from Nigeria, from other places. You go to church and you meet the people. You go to temples, Hindu temples, you go to mosques and meet the people over there. And you can build your own friend circle, social circle, which is quite important. Otherwise, going to maybe after 1 year or 2 year, you might think, if you don't have the friends, you might think that your decision was totally wrong. Come to this country. When you are coming to UK for holidays for like 10 days, 15 days for a month, it look very nice. It looks like when you are staying here for a long time,
Yes.
the reality you came to know, same thing. Like you had a somebody, you get attracted to that person.
Yes.
But when you started living with them, then you came to know that what is that person, or what's your decision? You're wrong and all that. So same thing until unless you come to the UK and you started living with them. In the beginning, it looked very nice, very
Yeah.
especially when you come from warm countries where the temperature is 40,
Yes.
50 degrees most of the time, and you are in the UK where the temperature is about 18, 19, 20 in summers, which is
Yeah.
kind of right now, in peaks of 30 maximum, and 30 is the peak summers where people started dying because of
Yes.
that temperature.
Yes.
So you feel very good. And at the same time, rain. The people coming from the where rain is like a rare thing, they really like over here. So
Yeah.
when you actually start living here, it's raining all the time. It's so
All the time.
depressing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's so depressing. When it's like for 7 days continuously, any stop, and it's not even actual rain. It's what I don't know what call it is. It's not even drizzling. It's a kind of like soft.
Soft one. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's depressing all the time. You might have watched some English movies, haunted movies where they only show gray weather. Harry Potter. You watch Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gray. All where you can see the clouds and all that. That is actual UK. That was filmed in Scotland. And train is real as well. The train is there from Fort William in Scotland to Mallaig in Scotland. That is 1 hour train, and that 1 hour drive as well. You can go by car. That is one of the most beautiful drive in the world. Out of like in the top 10, one of the most beautiful drive. But anyway, so it is important that you make friends, and it's good if you make friends before you actually come to UK. There are a lot of portals. As if you're coming as a student, there are a lot of portals. Universities give you they create WhatsApp groups where you can meet people, and obviously when you are going to university you can make friends there as well. So since we are talking about university, Catherine, how many friends you already mentioned about workplace? How many friends did you made during the university period?
Well, I actually made quite a lot of friends. Like, let me just cap it. Let me give it a number. Let's say like 50. 50. Yeah, 50. 50.
Okay, so 50 is a friends, like with the real friends, or 50 people you know from the university, but the like maybe 5 or 10 who you still now, or what is it?
Well, amongst, let me say, with the 50 that I have, okay, let me say people that we get meet every now and then are like, okay, I have, let me just say from 50. I had my main because I was actually student mentor for the university. So every of my mentees, they still talk, they still call me, ask me questions, and so that has actually been gone because I actually mentored I had more than close to 20 mentees. That's part of my 15. And aside from people that I actually met in class, there was even one person that I met this week, and I did not even know where it was actually not in my what program. It was from project management. And when he saw me, he walked up to me. I was like, "Hi." He said, "I know you. You're always in front of the class." And I was like, really? I said, he said, he used to see me where I used to pay attention in class and all. I know we were so happy we exchanged, contact again. That was another addition to the 50. So you can imagine how it is. So yeah, we really maintained a very cordial relationship with the 10, like really strong one. Yes.
Okay, so you had very strong with, and they have families as well.
Many of them are actually with kids. Yes.
Okay. So you must be socializing, now or maybe after a month or whatever, like after an interval.
Yes, we do, because I even with them that we're really close together. Even though we don't do the same program, she has 2 children, so we used to what's it called, families hang out together, and it's been fun. We even used to travel out to other states within the UK. It's been fun.
Okay. Now, since we are talking about socializing, often do you socialize with your friends? Is it weekly basis or monthly basis or fortnightly?
In a month, we must actually hang like every month. We must find a day month, no matter how what's it called the workload is, no matter how tight schedules are. We just have to know for now, because there's that my friend I actually made mention of. She always tell you this UK is a hot. You need to breathe in and breathe out. So we just have to actually meet, even if it's just to sit, in the park, take a drink and feel good. No talk about has been told so far. Yeah, so that's it. Every month we have to.
All that. So it's important. It's the important of life. You have to take some time off from the work, and especially when husband and wife both are working, from the kids as well, and obviously kids need to know other kids as well, from
Yes.
the same culture, from the same country. Now, the reason why I was making that story with you, I wanted to ask, what do you miss now since you are in the UK? What do you miss from your hometown or from home country? That is it same like socializing here? Is it same like that from there?
It's nothing like it. Because my home country, especially like let's say almost every weekend you have activity to attend. But it's not like that in the UK. You can't go to, and you have people to your neighbor. You can always, let me say, coming back from work and just decide not to go home straight. I can just go to my neighbor's house, and just relax for a while. The same thing here in the UK. I've actually missed those periods, like when I just walk into my new house, and we have like 30 minutes to talk, and I go to my own apartment. But it's not like that here in the UK, because even your neighbor is just, it's only when you even see you at the doorstep and you just say hello, hello, and you guys are off. And sometimes you may not even know that stays 2 doors away from yours, and which is not the same way it happens in my home country. You would definitely know who lives what's it called, you 2 doors away. And another thing I think is well, in the UK here we walk a lot, like we take long walks.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing in my home country. I was telling someone the other day. I said, if it's just a 10 minutes walk, I would take my car and drive down. But not here in the UK. You can't do that. You have to walk.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. That is totally. This is why initially when people coming to UK, they lose weight because they walk a lot.
You got a
But
lot of facts.
yeah, but after some time they
Yeah,
started
we used to.
weight again because they
Yeah.
get used to now. They need
Yes.
something else for their body. They need more exercise. They got used to, but the eating is still same. And because of the cold weather,
Yeah.
digestion impact as well. Digest that much because you're coming from the hot weather country. When you come to UK, it's a cold weather. You cannot digest the food that quickly. But when you are walking, it's okay. But when you are getting used and walk for like 1 mile, 2 mile every day,
Yeah.
sometimes it's not enough for your body to work out, and you
Yes.
might need to walk more. That is one of the amazing. People walk a lot in the UK.
Yeah, we do.
That is I believe that is the O for the gym and other things, but that is the only exercise everybody do. That is very common. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a few kind of rapid fire questions. Okay. So that I would like you to give quick advice, point 1, 2, or 3, like bullet points, for our viewers. So first one, advice will you give the people or the parents who want to come to UK with their young kids?
I would say, firstly, just ensure that okay, I'm sure you know how the UK is. Like, make your research well, and perhaps because of, okay, there was one thing I remembered when I was coming. Someone told me about medications here in the UK. Knowing fully well that the kind of temp we have in our home country is different, so there were some medications I needed to like pack for my daughter. And because getting drugs here, let's say medicine here, is actually and they don't give without prescription. So you have to get your own from as in home country. Another thing is upon coming here, ensure that you register on time with your GP so that you never can tell if there will be any emergencies. You don't want any surprises because your kids are actually funny.
Yeah.
And you don't want, when you have to be running helter. So just ensure that first thing first, upon landing, when you're settled or not settled in, just ensure that you get registered with a GP close to you on time. And also get prepared in when it comes to the finance aspect. You need money. I would not lie. It's only if you know that you want to. It's only if you know that, okay, maybe the wife will stay at home with kids while the husband works, and it doesn't. Well, for some people, it has been working for them. But if you know that one person alone cannot carry the load here in the UK, that's what I've come to realize. It's not. It's only you can't. You can't. You need two people to job. So even if one person is bringing in a large income, no matter how little it is, it still contributes to something in the house. So ensure you know how to plan your time. If it's for you to get someone to watch over the kids or find a good daycare, and if your children are actually age where they can attend school, brilliant. At what's it called? You have to no problem, to be honest. It's just for you to know when to drop them what's it called in school and when to pick them up. So I think because of the weather, you have to ensure that you get good clothing for your children. We had to do that when coming. I had to change most of my daughter's wears and get what's it called. I will still also emphasize on ask questions.
So you mean to say that the sphere you from there, from your home country, that is not going to work over here? They
Yeah,
need
it
to,
doesn't work. It
yeah,
didn't work.
buy thermals for
Yes.
the first few days, but later on, make sure as soon as you land, you buy from here.
Yes.
Even if you buy clothing, your own clothing or kids' clothing from here, that is designed to protect from this weather. But if you buy the jackets and from your own country, which is where the warm weather is, that is designed as per
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So don't buy it from there. Always from here in the UK. Okay. You also mentioned about like even person is working is not, it's really expensive over here. So my question over here is, if let's suppose you need to have at least apartment if you have kids with you, so a bedroom apartment, and let's say both people are working as well. Do you think, or you have a rough idea how much money to earn to survive in the UK every month? Any just general idea, including electricity, rent, all the utility bills and everything?
Okay, let's say we're looking at okay, we had in feedings with it, rent,
I'm just
bills. Okay,
talking
let's just put it. Let's just
general expense for a month
okay.
for a family of 3 people, 1 kid and 2 adults.
Wow. I would say three myself as an example because I'm actually a family of three. So let me just say we're looking at if you cut it according to your budget so well, we're looking at a £2,000.
Minimum £2,000
Yes,
to survive.
to survive like for a month.
If you properly,
Well, yes.
£1,000 per month, which is a big amount. A big amount, but with big amount, only survival is possible in this country. It's not like somebody's. Sometimes people think that okay, I had my fees, I have paid all the, IHS or all these expenses. Now at like £500 left, I can go to UK and I can survive. It's not possible even for a single person, not possible. So that we need to consider before you coming down to UK that your survival is the foremost thing. You need to feed yourself, you need a roof to take a shelter, which is make sure you consider your budget properly when you are coming to UK. Okay, now what advice will you give people who are coming to the university for studies? How can they approach good job student that okay, this is like maybe one things you can do to land a good job?
Okay. So firstly, as a student, prepare your mind that okay, you're here studying and you're here for serious business, because don't lie to you, it is hard work. It's not that you don't want to use the certificate, but if you know you really want to put what you've learned into use, then you have to ensure that your attendance is 100%. It may not even be 100% because definitely sometimes hiccups may happen, but just that you're always in class and ask questions and get ready to mingle with your peers. Don't just be a loner. As in, mingle with them, then you get so many things. I remember when I was in my own dissertation, at a point I was stuck when I was on my chapter 5, and I had to call upon, I actually made friends within class. So we were able to work it out together. So imagine if I couldn't do, I was just a loner, I wouldn't have been able to scale through in that state. So you'd people, and also, don't just limit yourself to, okay, maybe back at home, you were a bank manager, for instance, or you're a project manager, and say, oh, I'll come to the UK and I'll also become a bank manager. It doesn't work like that here in the UK. Even with having all your certifications and all, it takes time. And yes, at the end of the day, you may still become a bank manager or even more, but for a start, you can get something minimal. I was telling my mentees then, I told them, I said, as a senior procurement person in Nigeria, knowing what my job role was and coming to the UK and finding something doing, I had to look for something. I had to go low. And you can see today where, as in what it has brought me. So I told them, and I was so impressed with a lot of them that they also started entering into those in them. They are doing fine today. So get it at the back of your mind that don't just look at it and say, okay, you're coming from the top. Starts low, and with time the ladder, and you're fine. And also don't just limit yourself to saying, oh, this is kind of job because people are saying to get a stay in the UK you need to do this kind of job. Don't restrict yourself to that. Have that at the back of your mind. You are made for more. So I'm not saying what's it called, people that are doing kind of runs are actually, no, we have different, what's it called, we are different. So don't just limit yourself. I'm just telling you, don't limit yourself to saying this is kind of job you are doing, even though they have the certifications. Tell yourself you get something, and yes, you will. And that has actually worked for me because I kept on telling myself that, you know what, I'm going to climb this ladder and I'm going to get to the highest heights. And so far, I've been climbing my ladder, and it's been good so far. And up praying, don't stop believing, have faith, and ask questions. Ask questions. Whoever asks questions will win the road. Ask people questions whenever you are stuck. No matter how stupid the questions are, just ask. And you'll definitely find someone that will actually put you on the right path. Yes, so I think that's it for me.
Okay. Now, 2 to 3 things is from that is not available in the home country.
Well, I think the UK is maybe close to my home country, so I would say, do I really miss anything?
And that is why I asked this question, because the reason why you don't think about it, you can't think those 3 things, which means that is available here.
Yes, it is actually everything you need, like everything I used to do, eat. I'm a picky eater. I have everything here. It's just for me to walk into the store, my own native store, and pick those things. So the UK is actually so cool. Unlike people that are far away in other countries are like, oh, you eat this. Because there's this kind of native food I used to prepare. Whenever I prepared and I post it on my status, people are like, wow, you do this here. I said, yeah, in the UK. Like, what am I looking for? So I really don't think there is anything.
Yeah, that answer the question, what should I pack? I'm going to UK, what should I pack? So you don't need to pack any food items or anything. Everything is available in the UK and on reasonable price, affordable price. If you do some research, talk to the people who are already here, they will tell you where the native shops are. So we got African shops, we got
Mexican, everything.
Groceries are there. It's almost similar. We share the similar groceries, similar culture. Maybe some of the fruits and vegetables are slightly different, but it is available in most of the shops. And in there, those type of shops are in all the localities.
Yes.
Wherever you go in the UK, that is available. Unless you are going to a remote area, which is a bit far from the city, you might not get it. But again, within like half an hour travel, 1 hour travel, online shops available as well. Even you can find a broom, you can chin-chins, you can
Yes.
you can find anything. Parle-G, that all these things are available. Okay. So Catherine, it's really nice talking to you. You were talking about the work, the networking and things. Let me just tell. We got workshops going on. Workshops, for example, CV writing workshops, how to write your CV, how to modify your CV for the UK market. Also, how to write a CV that shortlisting, like Catherine, you get job, you apply for first job and you got
Got it.
your
Yes.
CV shortlisted. So how to guarantee, how to make sure that your CV guarantee the shortlisting. Also using generative AI like ChatGPT to use to create your CV and to build your CV and modify every time you apply for it. And there are other workshops going on for achieving more in the UK. So tips and tricks, how can you achieve more with the limited effort or little effort? Because like Catherine, she didn't have time. She was traveling 7 hours every day
Yeah.
to come to 3 hour lecture, and 7 hour plus 3 hour, 10 hour. Then she going back home and kids and all that. She didn't have time. So how can she maximize the benefit with the very little time to make sure that she achieve a better job? She achieve success in the UK. So those types of the workshops are going on. At the same time, you will be learning about life skills, which I'm coaching. I have been a mentor, a coach, an author. My book is there, an author,
Yeah.
and I have been an astrologer. Where I talk about like astrology, numerology, occult science. So these workshops are going on. Please join our workshops. There is a link to register for this for the workshops in the description video. If you are interested, if you want to achieve more, if you want to achieve or get success in the UK as quickly as possible, join those workshops. The workshops are running to time, and those workshops are free. That is the best thing. Those are free workshops. You will be learning a lot through workshops. We are having like many people attending those workshops every month as per schedule. So feel free. And if you have any comments, if you want to ask any question, Catherine, for later on, put on the comment box any questions for us, or if you want to tell us give us your feedback on the podcast, what type of question we should ask, and what you need to learn about UK and the UK market, CV, jobs, how to get the jobs and all that. We are having more and more professional people coming to our podcast. For example, how to buy a home in the UK. If you are a student, do you get eligibility to buy a home, or when will you get it? Also, what do you require to buy a home? Also, there are some other professional who involved in recruiting people in their organizations, who are from countries, came to UK, now living in UK, working in good organizations and organizations, who will be meeting you, and you can get the information from them. For example, how to apply for the job on that company, what is the requirements, what skills they're looking for, what comp are required. So all these things you are going to learn through these podcasts. So Catherine, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much,
If you
sir.
want to say anything to our viewers very quickly, please say that.
Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity to share my own view. And I just want to tell everyone out there, there is always, what's it called? There's a space for everyone. And never limit yourself, put in the hard work. And at the end of the day, definitely you come out shining. And also, I would just want everyone to please subscribe to this channel, because there's a whole lot you're going to benefit from. And share this to everyone you know so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. In terms of subscription, people are subscribing to our channel. Our channel reach is going really good. By the time this podcast is published, I believe we will cross more than 10,000 subscribers within a month. We gained not more than 6 weeks, and which is really good. The views we had coming of views, a lot of subscribers are coming, and they are really good. Spreading the word. There are shares going on as well. So, guys, thank you very much. As Catherine said, please subscribe to the channel, and we will bring you more and more guests like Catherine. And I'm sure that we will invite Catherine again, because if she can get to the police station within 3 months or 4 months after coming to the UK, she will definitely come with some new stories. I'm telling you now. So maybe after 6 months, Catherine will come up with something new, brilliant idea. But Catherine, you have to make sure that it is a good one. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very
Thank
much.